You're listening to the Chat Network. I am your host, Nazia, and we've got our guest, our esteemed guest, that joins us every Wednesday. We've got none other than Coach Zaid Ismail in the house. How are you doing? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Zaid.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I'm good. It's one of those crazy weeks this week.
Yes.
We need a light conversation today. I can't do a heavy conversation today.
Is this coming from the coach himself saying we need a light conversation today? Okay, all right, we'll try our best. Listeners, are you going to be giving Zaid a hard time? 0772804792. Keeping it nice and light. Well, Zaid, today, what is it that we are talking about?
Old school values. There's this post that has been going around on WhatsApp, and I saw it on Facebook as well. I know when I talk about Facebook, I'm showing my age and all of that, but I don't care.
Mhm.
But it talks about how it is that we've complicated life, right? In a nutshell, it talks about how it is that just the simple joys of life, we've kind of like sidelined it because of our personal preferences and about our space and about all of these things that we do all the time that just talks to how it is that you must respect me before you come in, impose yourself in my space and all of that. And it's just destroyed the spontaneity of life.
I think I'm getting what you're saying. Gone are the days when we used to just call up our family and say, we're on the way from Joburg to Durban. And they were like, listen, even if there's 16 of you, we're going to sleep wherever. Now it's a matter of don't inconvenience the family.
Yes. And check first and
Yes.
make an appointment. And if you go, you mustn't inconvenience and you must. Tradition. I mean, what tradition have we got these days? What have we done with tradition and what have we replaced it with? Because I said I wanted a light conversation. It's already getting heavy. The thing is, what we're doing becomes a tradition for the next generation. So if we're abandoning tradition that we grew up with, that we valued and that we thought was amazing, and now all we do is talk about it, but we don't do it, then that's the tradition that our children are growing up with, right? Talk about everything that was so amazing in the good old days, but just allow life to dictate to you how it is that you must be now.
And I've noticed the young people are like always like, tell us about when you were growing up. Like, tell us what it was like for you growing up. And the post Zaid is talking about is, it's called Baraka Doesn't Swipe. Our grandparents built homes with one income, but they also built lives with one intention to stretch what they had, not chase what they didn't.
Yes. And that, like, it just sets the tone for everything, right? Because the moment you even just read that first line, the first thing I heard in the back of my mind was people saying, yeah, but times have changed.
Mm.
Who changed the times? Did time change it or did we change it? Right? When we talk about economy and we talk about tough times and everything else, are we talking about real tough times or are we talking about increased expectations and standards of living?
That's the thing. What is your perception?
Right. Because I know people who are still operating on single income. So I'm not saying you have to, right? And let's just get this out of the way. Just because we might be offering a critique or some sort of pushback on how it is that the norms have taken shape about dual income homes and women must be allowed to work and all of that, we're not challenging any of that. What I'm always pushing for is understand the consequences and the impact of the choices you're making so that you don't sit back and say life is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Because if life is tough, who made it tough?
And that takes me to the second paragraph. They didn't sip on 75 Rand lattes or currant chai in cafes with imported
or boba
cinnamon or boba tea. They boiled tea leaves till the pot stained, poured it into chipped cups, and they called that enough.
Exactly. And that is the thing, right? Enough that always used to be enough is no longer enough. And the only reason it's no longer enough is because our neighbors have more. Someone else has more, and we want to keep up, and we want to show up, and we want to have the same kind of aesthetic and the same lifestyle and the same standard of living. And like people are going to laugh at us, look down on us, or who's going to want our children to get married into their families and that. And then we're all chasing, and then we're blaming times for being tough.
Of course. And it's like this whole sheep, kind of a mentality. That word aesthetic troubles me. I can't. That word aesthetic troubles me. Like someone says to me, it's all about the aesthetic. And I'm like, but what's behind that? Where's the depth? Where's the, like, please unpack this word for me.
Can I hurt some people's feelings?
Do go ahead. We're keeping it lightly salted.
The aesthetic. The aesthetic is about how you want to be seen,
Mm.
right? It's about being more focused on how you look and what your image is about and what other people think of you than what you think of yourself. And even that is a bit of a distraction, right? Because how much time do you spend thinking about yourself? That in itself is a bit of an indulgence. What you should be thinking about is like what's important to you, what fires you up, what are you passionate about, what are you looking to achieve, what are you wanting to make a difference in, what do you want to have impact in,
Yeah.
whose lives do you want to touch,
What are your principles?
what are your principles, what are your values, what is it that you stand for, not what do people think of me.
Of course. And you know, I love this post. That's why I'm sharing it paragraph by paragraph. They didn't scroll menus. They opened cupboards, found onions, lentils, maybe a tomato, and made a meal that fed 12 because the house was full of children, cousins, neighbors who popped in just for tea and stayed for dal and roti.
Nowadays you make a meal that serves 5 but it must have 12 sides.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And what's the point of that, right? On the one hand, you can say, no, it must just be something delicious and you're honoring your guests and all of that. But on the other hand, how much of that is really adding to the joy of the occasion itself, of the meeting, of the gathering, of the impromptu visit? And that's the thing, right? How many times do we have impromptu visits where we just like show up? We don't even phone to say, hey, we're on our way. You just show up and you're welcomed and you feel welcomed and you
Yeah.
don't feel as if you're imposing and you don't feel as if you're an inconvenience because if you're busy with your chores in your house and someone shows up, you should be more full of joy and happy about the fact that someone showed up into your space because they value your connection with them rather than, oh no, you're interrupting me because now I'm not going to get this thing done.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think of my granny. She's like 91 years old. She passed on earlier this year. But on a Sunday, I don't know how this woman did it. She would buy maybe 80 Rand worth of mutton.
Right.
But 15 people will come and visit her. All of her grandchildren will visit her. All her children will come one by one. And somehow she always had a plate of food for everyone.
And did she complain that times were tough?
Never. That woman was like, there was never the word stress that came out of her mouth or worries or, you know, she was content.
Yes.
She always looked at us like, you work too hard. You work too much. You must relax. That's what she used to say to us. Where are you going to? Where are you running away so quickly?
And it reminds me of something that my daughter accused me of the other day. And I just laughed it off. And she said, I'm becoming an almond mummy.
Oh,
Because I came across this clip that showed how easy it is to make mayonnaise,
right.
right, at home.
Okay.
Literally less than 5 minutes. And I'm a complete newbie in the kitchen. I'm like in there a couple of years now because I needed to figure it out for myself.
Yeah.
And I made it and it came out amazing,
Okay.
right? And then I thought, well, this is cool. And not only did it come out amazing, it cost probably 20 or 25% of the cost of what you would pay for in the shop
Oh,
for
okay.
a tub of, for a bottle of mayonnaise. So then I saw these clips about how you can make your own butter and how you can make your own cottage cheese and all of these things, right?
I hear you, daughter.
But the point I'm getting at is I remember when we were growing up, we used to hear stories about how my grandmother used to grind her own flour,
Yes.
right? There was a grinding stone that was there. It was
Yes.
part of the furniture in the kitchen and it was kept there outside on the stoop whenever it was needed, right?
Yeah.
Now, I go back to what I said last week, I think it was, about convenience makes you take things for granted.
Yes.
And that's the thing, right? The more convenient we make things, like now I can go and buy a packet of flour, no problem, because it's affordable because of mass production and economies of scale and all of that, right? And there's nothing wrong with that itself. But what I need to consider is what experience has been lost because of the convenience,
True.
right? And now when we look at family gatherings, when we look at Eid Day and Diwali and all of these things, and you go to the shops, and this is not just specific to one community or one religion, all the festivities, you go and you buy most of the stuff that you want to put on your table.
Yeah.
You're going over to someone's house to go and have tea with them or something. You go and you stop at the shop and you buy savories or you buy some confectionery or something.
Yeah.
You take it with. And where's the barakah? Where's the blessing? Where's the personal
Togetherness.
kind of contribution and like, oh my God, you always make the best
Yeah.
chocolate eclairs or you always make the best milk tart.
And the gatherings brought people together. It unified families.
Yes.
Like if you think about Diwali, Christmas, Eid, families would get together and prepare their stuff at one house, for example.
Yeah.
Like my granny's house was central point. Everyone would go there. Now, if everyone's gonna buy, now there's no need for us to get together. The
Yes.
time together is lost. The values don't get passed on. The experience is lost. The tradition dies.
And that gathering, that bonding, that
Yes, the
that
bond.
time of actually being in each other's space and laughing and joking and teasing each other and even taking a dig at each other or having these kind of frivolous arguments that happen because of politics and all of that. None of that happens anymore. So now you get together and the only thing you're talking about is aesthetics. You're talking about
Absolutely.
how it is that you're living in the right neighborhood or your kids are going to the right schools or jobs are a certain kind of criteria. And everything is talking about how it is that you're adding to your standard of living. And I keep saying standard of living, not quality of life, because that's what we've
Yeah.
confused.
That's very powerful. Standard of living versus quality of life.
Yeah. And we're so fixated on standard of living that we don't realize that our quality of life is diminishing.
100%. I love this part of the post where it says phones didn't unlock with a face. They hung on the wall or sat atop the sideboard cupboard in the dining room. It wasn't even a thing. Like the phone was so far out of view. And now everybody's phones are like next to them or in front of them, or like, one notification sound, everyone's running. And this also goes to show priority wise.
Yes.
It just wasn't a priority.
And that I think is a natural consequence of the fact that you don't have meaningful personal interaction. So now the only thing you can interact around is something that is equally entertaining. So now you get the kids that are hanging around each other because they're looking at reels on each other's phones.
Yeah.
Or they're playing games together,
Yeah.
but on the phones.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? Before someone tells me, yeah, no, I'm just fighting the times and I'm old and all of that. No. When we replace playing ball in the yard or cricket in the street with doing let's assume, for example, the same thing on digital devices. What you're losing is not the fact that you're still playing the game. What you're losing is the entire sensory experience.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're experiencing it with your eyes, with your ears, and with your thumbs. Before, you were completely immersed in the moment.
Yeah.
Your entire body, your entire being was present. And you were taking it all in, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the energy, the vibe, the screaming, the shouting, the teasing each other, all of that. It was all there. Now you got to send each other a snarky message so that you can get at each other.
Yeah, get onto the family WhatsApp group.
Oh, don't get me started with family WhatsApp groups. Oh my God.
Oh.
The greatest test and trial and fitna, whatever you want to call it, of our time is family WhatsApp groups.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
It makes it convenient to ignore each other.
But it's there to connect us.
Okay, and what connection do we then share in the family WhatsApp groups? It becomes tokenism. And I'll get shot for this, but I don't care. It becomes tokenism, right? And I'll tell you one of the things that I noticed, I'm not talking of only my own family WhatsApp groups, and I'm saying across the board, and I speak to clients, like 300 to 400 different people about these kinds of things. So I'm not basing my experience because, people like to, when we talk about stuff, they like to assume that you're talking about your personal experience.
Yes.
They can't understand that we might actually have a broader experience than that, right? Broader visibility and exposure. Because some of us, we're sitting there and we're observing because we're observing, not because we've got nothing to say.
Yes, of course.
Right. So anyway, back to the point. So on the family WhatsApp groups, you actually see the difference in effort that people put in when it comes to responding to or wishing different people in the family.
Okay.
Right? You'll see one child will get a typical kind of happy birthday or congratulations, and the other child will get custom videos and elaborate messages and custom worded wishes and things like that. And you might on the one hand say, well, that's innocent because, people, they have different connections with different people, and yes, I get that. But you can explain that to the child who's on the receiving end of that.
It's amazing how this WhatsApp group creates so much of issues.
It does.
Because you see, someone will post a message and then everyone will reply to that person. And then someone else will post a message and you see, they only respond to that person.
You said it, not me. That's what I'm saying. You see, and that's what I'm saying. It's not me talking about my personal experience. So if anyone from my family is listening, I'm not airing dirty
My
laundry or
family can
something, right?
listen. They can yum.
I'm saying this is a general experience, and if someone is listening in and they like have a genuinely wholesome experience in their family WhatsApp group, please tell us. We want to celebrate you.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, I don't know if I am like ignorant of this because we come from the generation that witnessed the evolution. We had the phones hanging on the walls with the phone book.
Hmm.
We then saw the cell phones, the big Motorola bricks come out with the aerial,
Yeah.
and you were the who's who. If you saw one of those, I was like, that thing is huge, man. It must be heavy to carry. Battery comes out, you are the man, you know. My dad had maybe two of these. We the generation that witnessed, the analog TVs, mix it, then WhatsApp, and now everyone is so consumed. We are the generation that can leave our phones for a weekend
Yep.
and just not even look back and be like, I'll get to it on Monday. And it's literally a crime. It's blasphemy.
Hmm.
You can't have that kind of nonchalance. You just
Exactly.
can't.
How can you be so irresponsible and not look at your messages? Because phoning you and telling you there's something urgent is actually just unheard of. They have to send you a message and wait for you to make sure you give it the
Can you
priority.
believe there was a time our parents left from Joburg and drove to Durban without a cell phone?
Exactly.
I mean, it's unheard of. We'll hear from you when you get to Durban
Right.
and someone phones from the house phone and say, your father is here, and you're like, oh, okay.
You could phone someone and say, guess where I am?
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm outside your house. Now you'll be accused of stalking or something.
Now it's like you need to phone before you come.
Mhm.
You need to check with us. We've got a very busy calendar as a family. And it's sad because, like I said, we witnessed that evolution. All your cousins grew up in one house,
Yeah.
for the holidays. The holidays are approaching now. And looking at the value system, how has that eroded the generation of now? What has that taken away that we don't live by that value system anymore? What have they been robbed of?
Okay, I just want the record to show that you're the one that turned this into a serious discussion. But the value system is exactly what we're distorting and destroying as we go through these changes, right?
Yeah.
Because when you treat something as a convenience rather than as something that is important in itself, in its own right, that's the value you're teaching your children of that thing.
Mm.
So when you say it's okay to just occasionally like chat to each other on WhatsApp groups, and when we show up at family functions or at family gatherings, and that we show up when we want,
Yeah.
whatever time we feel like it, how we want, whether we're consistent or not, or if we're going to prioritize other things over the family gatherings, it's all fine because everyone has their own life.
Yeah.
That's the value system you're establishing in them.
Yeah.
And then when they get into their own spaces and with their children, and how are they going to know how to establish more wholesomeness than that?
Wholesomeness is the key. That's the word that we're looking for. That's that void everyone is chasing.
Yes.
I feel empty. I feel alone. I feel like no one understands me.
So let me go online and tell everyone how I'm misunderstood so that all the other people also feel misunderstood can tell me how they also misunderstood and we'll feel like we all understand each other.
You see what I mean? Do you see how we get cancelled? Right? Your vibe attracts your tribe.
But like, at which point do we stop and think like, oh, what are we doing?
When an influencer says, what are we doing? That's the point at which people stop and say, but really, you're not actually, like, we talk about our identity. We've said this before, right? How do I find myself in a world that's trying to tell me who to be?
Okay. And my cynical response to that would be, where's the world trying to tell you that? How do you see the world dictating that to you? What's your interpretation of that? What do you look at in your social media feeds and in the way people respond to you in your daily life and decide that they dictating how I must be, who I must be, how I must show up?
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then there's consequences. Now those consequences you choose. And if you don't like the consequences, then you choose differently. But you don't surrender yourself to what someone is demanding from you just because you're afraid of being excluded.
So this part got me. We raced through Joburg in BMWs, Jeeps, and Land Rovers, chasing time, chasing status, chasing silence. But Nana drove a simple Nissan Bakkie, the kind with a bench seat in front, and children packed in the back like joy itself. No seatbelts, just wind laughter and a packet of knickknacks passed around.
Right. And on this one, I want to be cautious because the amount of idiots on the road today is much more than the idiots on the road when
In
Nana was
Nana's
driving
time,
his Nissan
yes.
Bakkie, right? But the sentiment I 100% agree with.
Yeah.
Right. It's about how it is that we are so focused on the flash and the bling of what we drive that we don't consider whether we actually have any joy in the seat.
Yes.
And the joy that we have in the seat is about whether we can go fast enough, beat someone else, or look better than someone else.
It's like this constant comparison. I've got to have more. My neighbor
Mhm.
has more. My cousin has more. My brother has more.
Yes.
When does it end? And what is the actual means to the end?
And what is the reason that we are focused on that more, more, more?
What is the reason?
Because that's how we know how to be significant. Which means that if we find a different way to be significant, to feel significant, we won't need to have more, more, more. So if you find yourself chasing all the time, it means that there's a lack of substance in your relationships, the important relationships to you, and you start with family ties. People can tell me what they want. Your blood ties will always have the greatest impact on you, whether you like it or not. And you can have your views about toxic this and toxic that, but if you have toxic relationships with your blood ties and you go and compensate for that by having the friends that you choose as family, that knowledge in the back of your mind, that awareness, that understanding, that feeling that your blood ties are still in that space with you, or you don't have that, it will continue to weigh down on you always.
Absolutely. And what will that do for your children?
It denies them access to the village that they needed to feel wholesome and grounded and like they belong.
Absolutely.
That's the identity we're talking about.
I love this part where they say, we chase comfort, but forget that comfort was once a mattress on the floor, a fan in summer, and just being around people you love.
Yeah. How often do we just have simple gatherings like that, where it doesn't have to be fancy? We don't have to worry about what people are going to say about the way we hosted it, or the way we decorated the tables, or how expensive was the cake for the centerpiece.
How dare you attack? I mean, we used to hoy the mattresses in the front yard, camping style.
Yeah.
And recently we were invited to like it was also like a kind of a braai thing. And the mattresses were hired and all the colors were coordinated. And the movie was a projected screen out there. A company comes out and sets this whole thing up for you.
Yep.
So like we have just built on a very simple concept that somebody has actually made a business out of.
Yes.
It's crazy.
And this is the kind of conflict that I end up with when I'm looking at all of these things, is that at some point the previous generation would have looked at that and thought, you guys are losing the plot.
Yeah.
Right? Because for them it wasn't about sitting behind a projector screen in the garden with everyone rolled out on blankets and enjoying a nice movie night. For them there would have been something else, maybe playing tani or rummy or whatever it was, right? Playing cards or playing carom board, whatever it is, because those are the kind of things that were popular in our community back then. Yeah. So it's a matter of trying to still have the joy and the simplicity of all of that while you complement your life with the conveniences of the modern day life, right? But you have to do it purposefully, otherwise you're going to lose yourself to the convenience and you're going to lament and reminisce about the good old days that you have access to, but you're just not doing anything about it.
200%. Dada didn't have 47 debit orders. He had one bank card or a post office savings account and a wife who reminded him that he needs to pray regularly. Simplicity.
How many of us have partners who are encouraging us towards being better rather than telling us how it is that we need to serve them better? And this is for both men and women. So don't for one second assume that women are always doing it for men and men are never doing it for women, or the other way around. Both sides. How many men have women who are encouraging them to be better men? And how many women have men who are building them up to be better women?
No, we just have people accusing each other of being toxic.
Yes.
You are toxic. You are bad for my health.
My rights, my responsibilities.
Yes. Viva feminism.
Oh yeah, what problems has that solved
You
versus what problems
understand?
has that created?
Now you are going to be like,
Oh
I don't want
boy.
to be you.
Maybe next week's topic should be feminism. Imagine a man talking about feminism.
I challenge you. I won't
Sacrilegious.
back down. Please. Please, Zaid. Next week's topic is feminism. Ladies. But that's exactly what we're talking about, right? The next part cracks me up. Nani didn't have bahur or scented candles labeled tranquility. She lit Loban. That's what she did. We had Loban, people. And let me tell you, it's not the one you're getting now. The quality of that Loban would choke the devil in you. You would, the whole street knew on a Thursday night. This house is smoked up, hot box. And we just knew, come like the auspicious days, Sunday morning, the church bells are ringing.
Yeah.
I mean, on the various auspicious Hindu, Tamil, Gujarati days, we knew the temple was full. You can't perform in the streets. We respected each other's
Yeah,
religions.
exactly.
It was a melting pot. Our community was a melting pot of different cultures and races. And you know what I loved? Going to public school.
Yeah.
Diwali, you off. Christmas, you off.
Yes.
Eid, you off.
Exactly.
Ascension Day, we all ascending.
Exactly. And what
It
do we
was
become now?
simple.
Now we became secularists who are demanding secular equality. Come on.
Yes.
It's destroying us. It's
Yeah.
destroying our culture. It's destroying our identity. It's destroying our experience of community. Why?
Mm.
Because now suddenly the democratic view is the right view. No, it isn't.
Mm.
The democratic view, we're getting political now. Okay, I'm going to say it anyway. The democratic view always ensures that the most popular view is the one that prevails.
Yeah.
And you show me in a room of 100 people where the most informed perspective is the most widespread perspective.
Mm.
It isn't. It's the people who sit back and observe and think and contemplate. They're the ones that have more insight than the people who are swayed and caught into the joys and the celebrations of everything.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think we've complicated things.
Completely.
We have made the simple things trendy.
Now,
You know?
take that same concept and apply it to families.
Yeah.
And see how it is that families are also now shifting these traditions and that because of what's popular, what is convenient, right? What everyone thinks is going to make it easier because, you know, everyone's lives are so difficult and so busy these days.
Yes.
And the heads of the family, the matriarchs and patriarchs, they don't have any say anymore.
No. In fact, it's the kids who complain. Why is your family always coming over? You know, I was shocked. My friend said to me the other day, my kids are in the pajama lounge. And I'm like, but we're sitting in the lounge. She's like, no, I have a pajama lounge. And I'm like, oh, are you only allowed there with pajamas? Please help me understand why. Simply because that generation needs a pajama lounge. And I'm just trying to figure out, when we were growing up, it was simple. You woke up, you did certain chores, even on holidays. Gran was there, mom was there. It was just something where certain values you just need, even though you're on holiday, certain things need to still be adhered to. And those are the very practices we use today in our work ethic, in our home ethic. And you're not sorry for it. You just feel like you guys are missing out on something so enriching and wholesome.
Yes.
And it's just sad that they're not going to have that warmth. They're not going to have that touch of unity and community. I mean, I think the problem started when we stopped closing the street for cricket and soccer.
Exactly. And instead, we replaced it with giving our children GTI so they could race up and down the same street and endanger everyone's lives when they wanted to play cricket and soccer in the street.
Oh, my word. Oh, we put that screen in their hands.
Yes.
And we were like, you crying? Here's the screen. Oh, you feeling sad? Here's the app. Look, it's Miss Rachel. You know? That's your pacifier.
Convenience has destroyed spontaneity. It's destroyed the depth of life. It's destroyed the substance of community relations.
Absolutely. I have to mention this. Asma, she messages us every week. She says, thank you, Coach Zaid and Nazia, for bringing so much joy and positive energy into my life through your show. I truly appreciate the way you connect with your listeners. Every week, your show inspires me and fills me with happiness. Listening to you both brings back wonderful childhood memories. I'm absolutely loving the show. And she says, on a lighter note, what she remembers is her wild hair coconut oil and sunlight. Oh my goodness.
Oh yes,
The threaded
sunlight
hair oil. Yo. That hairbrush.
and brile cream.
Oh my word, that smell. As you said that word, that smell just hit me again. Brown cream. Oh my word. I'm thinking about before festivities, the whole Mandy vibe. I absolutely hated henna. Hated it. And my mom, now people are lucky because you have beautiful designs and whatever the case is. Back then,
You tap your finger.
it was horrific. It was horrific. They would smear the whole thing on your hand
Uh-huh.
and then cover it with a sock.
Yep.
And you go to sleep. And if you dare say no in your sleep, they putting that thing on. And in the morning, you're like, oh my goodness, this would be a crime. I can't eat. But
Yep.
you all your cousins are doing it. You are not going to embarrass us.
And almost every family had that one uncle that was cutting everyone's hair.
Aye. And
Right?
he thought he was good.
Yeah.
He thought he was so good.
What if we replaced all of this with for our children to experience?
I
So
think, yeah.
let's say times change, right?
Yeah.
But then what is it that we gave them as an alternative
Mm.
besides digital devices?
That's a good question. What would be the alternative?
What gives them that kind of real human connection in person instead of all sitting around and talking about the latest reels and the latest TikTok trends and things like that? Like, if you're going to be talking about what's happening and what's good and what's vibey and that, it can't be something that is in virtual reality. It must be something that you can connect with immediately in that moment with each other. What if we replace all of that with? I mean, we had games like Kiribeka and Kenneki and Rhubarb and Eggy and King and all of those things, right?
Yeah.
What if they replace it with? I know some of the kids, especially now, from time to time, they still play hide and seek and things. But beyond that, all the other games, all the card games, all the carom boards and pool and all of those things, how much of that still actually exists?
I doubt. I know 30 seconds. I know there are certain board games, but I love the concept that I read recently of a restaurant in Australia. At the entrance, the whole family has to hand in their cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into a cage with a lock,
Right.
and it can be at your table, but if your whole family can leave the cell phones in the cage at the end, you get like a 30% discount off your bill.
Cool. Any restaurant owners in our community that's willing to give that discount to encourage better family values?
I'm telling you, it would make all the difference.
It would. It's about like inspiring and motivating people to want to be better.
Absolutely. And my gran had this thing she used to do. If you in her presence and you had your phone and you're like, yes, gran, and you look up at her and then she'll look at you and she'll say, so you're busy. And we knew, put the phone down and step away slowly. Because to her, it meant nothing. She was like, but you come to visit me now. Why are you sitting on your phone? It was like just disrespectful to the max. And her tagline was, oh, so you're busy.
Uh-huh.
And she would do it with that body language. And you would just know, dude, this woman will think nothing of taking that same garlic stamper and put your phone there and be like, you're not going to be busy much longer.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
We've lost so much.
We have. I mean, I think previously I touched on the fact that, like, if you're talking to someone, you want to maintain eye contact with them, right? Now we've normalized that, no, you can still talk to someone while you're looking at your phone screen. It's not considered rude anymore.
What does that say about human connection?
It says that we're not connecting.
No.
We're not connecting.
It says
and then
I
we
don't
feel
even
lonely.
value what you say.
And then two people sitting in the same room feeling lonely are going online to look for companionship and looking for their vibey tribe and all of that nonsense.
Crazy.
Because right next to each other, they don't know how to talk and connect and relate to each other.
It's crazy. You will never know the true value of someone's presence. Because, and then when the person dies, then you're like, oh, I should have spent more time.
Yeah.
Oh, the regrets I have, But moving on to the post, she says here, Baraka doesn't swipe. It doesn't stream. It doesn't arrive in a branded paper bag. It lives in the quiet, in the cracked mug, in the walk to your mosque, your church, your temple, in the meal made from memory, in the prayer that is whispered before sleep. So don't ask why the elders could build. Ask what they didn't waste.
Yeah.
Wow.
Profound, right?
Wow.
And that's the thing. What is it that we're wasting all the time without seeing it as waste because it's just acceptable these days? We waste time, we waste relationships, we waste opportunities. How many elders in the families these days are still treated as elders, genuinely respected leaders with wisdom, rather than just figureheads?
Is there a concept of elders anymore? Because right now there's like a ton of different opinions coming at me from different, social media
Yeah.
platforms that can challenge what the elders say. I know when there was an issue, all the elders would be called together, family meeting. Now we all sit and we talk and we, thrash this out, we
Yeah.
deliberate, whatever. Nowadays, like, no, I have a therapist.
The reason you need a therapist is because you don't have a healthy relationship with your elders.
What role should elders play in our lives? What's the ideal?
There's and this is, I'm not saying that it's only the young ones that have a problem with this. I actually, the saddest thing I hear is when elders tell me that they don't want to interfere in the children's lives, so they stay away.
Oh my word! Don't even get me started on that. Like, I don't want to interfere. I don't want to create problems. That's what
And
they
then
say.
for children to see that as healthy boundaries, that's the other sad side of it. So then here's the thing, as always, right? Golden rule. If you don't want someone to expect something from you, you don't get a right to expect it from them later on. So if you expect your parents not to interfere in your home, then when you see your children grow up and they get married and you're concerned about their lives with their partners, it's not for you to interfere. You must leave them to make the mistakes and you must leave them to burn their fingers. You must leave them to hurt and feel pain and be abandoned and be betrayed and be treated badly and all of that because, don't interfere. Let them make their own mistakes. What rubbish. What's the point in making all your own mistakes? I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that said something about life is too short to make all your own mistakes.
That is very profound.
Right? So if you're not learning from other people's mistakes, you are wasting your life, literally wasting your life. And the reason you wouldn't want to learn from other people's mistakes is because of your own sense of insecurity and pride of being corrected. So if you see correction as shame, if you see correction as weakness or humility or humiliation, you got a problem. It's not that people are humiliating you or shaming you or embarrassing you by correcting you.
You know what? That is another subject. Is that how do you react in the face of constructive criticism?
I want to go as far as saying that if you need it to be constructive criticism before you even listen to it, then you've got a problem.
There we go.
Right? Because your investment must be in what am I learning from this? Whether I like you or not, if you've got a point to make, I want to hear what your point is.
Do you think people are strong enough or ready enough to hear that, though?
No, they spend too much time online to be able to develop that depth of character to want to hear it. Because let's blame the algorithms, right? The algorithms create those echo chambers for us that convinces us that how we feel is validated by so many other people that feel the same way.
Yeah.
What does it do? It convinces you that you don't have to accept that you're wrong. You're just different.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're different. They don't understand you. Therefore, they're not part of your tribe. Therefore, they're irrelevant.
So let's assume you are different, right? What are you doing about that, and what does that define about your contribution to the very support structure or social structure that you must accept you to be different? And that's where we lose the plot again, right? Because, like I said, it comes back to selfishness and convenience and all of these things that we're distracted by. And then we lose the essence of family, we lose the essence of community. And then everyone's complaining about how it is that life is tough. Life is tough because you're not operating as a cohesive social structure. That's why it's tough.
That's powerful. I love that. I mean, social cohesion. If you think your neighbor spend more time with you than your actual family, they knew all your family.
Yes.
And it was a time when your neighbor was more family than your actual family. It's surreal to me. And now that we are really holding up the mirror, this is what I'm saying. I mean, are we a generation, or have we? Is it a time when we're encountering a whole tribe of people, not generation, who, because they can't be corrected, they won't grow?
Yes, you absolutely won't grow, and life will humble you. It will. It's not a matter of maybe or you're going to prove a point that you're not going to. Life will humble you if you're not willing to be corrected.
It's like our parents used to say, it's rather I tell you now. You know their wisdom now.
Yeah.
We've got gurus who are writing books right now.
Yeah.
based on the simplicity
Mhm.
of what the wisdom that our parents used to have a new age aha moments. But at home, your parent was like, listen, yeah, if I don't tell you,
Yes.
someone outside is gonna tell you. I rather have you knowing in the house that this is what you're doing and correct it here,
Yes.
than you go out there and you hurt yourself or somebody hurts you. So put it right now so
Mhm.
that when you go out, you don't have a problem.
Yes. And if you resist that now, I'm pretty sure that in about 10 years' time, you'll be able to find a therapist that will tell you that was your childhood trauma.
Yeah. Oh, childhood trauma is so broad.
Oh, yes. Every unpleasant experience these days is trauma.
Listen, my father was a mechanic. I'm right way traumatized. I'm just telling you. It was a matter of you hold that spanner and there you breathe. You breathe and that spanner moves.
Where are you shining that light? I'm here, not there.
Where the hell are you looking? I'm looking. You know, I mean, we knew trauma. You what you going through right now? I'm surviving.
Does this look like a spanner or a screwdriver?
How, listen. And you had to know where each spanner was. And there you move that torch, I'm telling you, it was like your world's gonna go dark. Even if you passed out, by the way, this is how traumatic our childhood was. You've got to get back up and you've got to still hold the spanner.
Yes.
Have sugar water. Do you remember sugar water fixed everything?
Yep.
Shock, stomach ache, fainting spells. I mean, the only other first aid action I saw was elevate your legs. So, but drink the sugar water.
And it was either rub coffee grinds into your wounds or
Yes.
or mercurochrome.
Oh, Haldi, you going to school? Your nose is orange.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm telling you. But every spice had its benefits.
Mhm.
And this fruit of the season is the thing that will boost your immunity. There was no such thing as immunoboosters. We never went to pharmacies all the time.
And you see the crazy thing now. Now all those spices, it's like we're getting dumber by the generation.
Mm-hmm.
All the spices that were naturally part of our diet that was healthy for us, that gave
Yes.
us the resilience and the immune system and everything else.
Yeah.
At some point, someone came along and said, no, that's unhealthy for you. Stop eating ghee. Stop eating this. Stop eating that, right? But you know what stupidity that I'm talking about? Is that now they're giving you those same spices as supplements in capsules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Literally.
You know what I saw? I laughed my head off. It was actual turmeric capsules.
Yes.
Right?
And
I'm
cayenne
like,
pepper capsules.
I was finished. I went to the spice shop. I'm like, imagine this. Rose water. You know rose water that we use, like 6 rand, 7 rand a bottle. The pharmacy is selling for 75 rand a rose water spritz. And I'm like, why are you making us dumb?
Go soak your face down and wipe your face, man.
Yes, man. Like, hello. And then they're like, this is something that rehydrates you. And I'm like, we put 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, we mix it up, and boom, there you go. Right? So we definitely, how do we bring this back, Said? What is the restoration process in your opinion?
We need to stop buying into these labels. We need to stop buying into the nonsense that instinctively we know is false, but we're afraid that we're going to be judged if we don't accept the new age thinking. It's like, if you want family to feel welcomed in your home, make them feel welcome in your home. Don't create barriers to them entering your home. If you want family gatherings to be more wholesome and more grounded, don't walk in there with your phone in your hand.
Yeah.
If you want family WhatsApp groups to be more, I don't even know what word to use for it, but just wholesome, more conducive towards family unity in that, then hold each other to the same standard. If you're going to celebrate one person's anniversary or one person's birthday, then make sure you're consistent in how you celebrate all of them.
So much pressure.
So much pressure, right?
Yes.
And here's for me, this is the kicker, right? If you find it's impossible, for whatever practical reason, good reason, that it's not possible to actually achieve that, then don't do it in the WhatsApp groups. Don't make it visible to different children in the family that there's a different standard for different people from different families.
Yeah, I still appreciate a personal phone call.
Right. But my point is that if there's visibility about the kind of different standards that are held to different people in the family unit, if it's visible, I'm not saying that everyone must just be equal.
Yeah.
Because we're human, we're going to have closer bonds with some and not so close bonds with others. But when you make that visible to children who don't understand that, what they take from that now is what social media is telling them to take from it,
You're
which
not,
is you're not important,
you're not valued
you're not
enough.
valued,
Yeah.
you're not significant, no
Yeah.
one likes you, no one understands you, whatever it is.
Hmm. Rukshana says, Salams, how's it, guys? Great topics every week. In today's time, kids keep to the family traditions, but as they get older, with boyfriends and girlfriends, they leave traditions out. And you blame us parents because we don't carry it on. In my house, my kids still play games outside with their kids, but the phones are a stress because it's cartoons and stuff. But also, yeah, they still play outside. Hide and seek, soccer, and other games. They also go fishing, which they enjoy. Let's hope the grandkids keep it up and continue with their kids. Thank you again for an enjoyable show. Thank you, Rukshana.
Excellent, and I agree with it, right? But we need to, especially with the amount of distractions and the amount of kind of conflicting messaging we're getting from the community, not just social media.
Yeah.
We need to be a lot more deliberate and engaged in what is it about this value system that we're trying to maintain. What is it that makes it solid?
Mm-hmm.
So that we can establish that understanding and awareness in our children's minds so that they understand why it is that something that seems trivial is actually important.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, they're just going to keep going at, like, it used to be easy, now it's not so easy, so we must understand it's not so easy anymore. That's why we don't have to.
Yeah.
You need to understand why it is that the things that brought the family together, why that's important, rather than the fact that you only bring the family together now if it's convenient.
Hmm.
So we need to look at the convenience factors. We need to look at what it is. I'll tell you from personal experience, right? In our family, whenever we get together and everyone's like playing games together, playing pool together, playing table tennis, whatever it is, then you rarely see the kids sitting with their phones in their hands.
Yeah.
But the moment you're just getting together to eat and socialize without any of that actual activity happening, then the phones come out.
What do you think about that rule where when we are having family day, all the phones need to be put in one box and everyone's getting it by the end of today? I think we'll see anxiety. I think we'll see panic attacks. I think we will see a loss of concentration.
And you know what's worse? We will
Let's do
see.
this.
We'll see people choosing not to join.
Yeah.
Because they have that as an option these days, right? Because it's like you can't force me to
I
be
have
there.
my rights. I
Right?
know my rights.
Yeah. So here's the thing: if we're going to enforce certain standards like that, like
Yeah.
leave your phone at the door,
Yeah.
whatever it is, or leave it in the car, or whatever we want to do,
Yeah.
we need to be sure that the alternative we're offering them is something that they will be able to immerse themselves into. So we
Yeah.
need to be available to have that immersive kind of
Yeah.
experience, right?
I think as families we need to do that. When
Yes.
we have family day, we're like,
Yes.
listen, the rule is it's games day, it's lunch, it's braai, it's whatever. We are all interacting with each other,
Yes.
and everyone's phones, including the adults, we all putting our phones. That will be the day the one uncle gets stuck on his way to the thing, and everyone's phones are sitting in the bags.
Right.
Murphy's Law.
And one final point
Yes.
I want to throw the cat among the pigeons with.
Hmm.
When kids don't get along, the adults mustn't be defending their kids. The adults must be aligned about how the kids must get along.
Hmm. That is profound. When kids don't get along, adults shouldn't get involved.
And they should help their kids to see
Yeah.
the understanding that is needed and to see why it is that there's a better way to figure out those differences.
Yeah. If not for conflict arising, how do we teach them to navigate through
Yes.
conflict?
Exactly. And also, if we know that some kids are behaving badly and we turn a blind eye to it, we are enabling that.
True.
And if we want to maintain just good relations with those kids, despite what we know they're doing to other members of the family, then we're telling them that it's okay for you to treat them that way.
Absolutely. You know, Zaid, this is a topic I think can extend. We can reminisce. It takes us all, our listeners. We've got such amazing feedback from this topic. We've definitely made everyone nostalgic right now. And what is your parting message to our listeners this morning?
I think we need to stop spending so much time reminiscing about the good old days and start living it.
Oh, my word.
Right? Live it. And I mean live it. And if you're an elder, claim your space as an elder. Don't wait for your family to treat you like an elder before you do. You don't have the option to say, but no one listens to me anymore
Yeah.
because you have also an accountability towards the family unit. And for me, I promise you, the biggest thing I find is that elders, they just don't own their space anymore.
That's very powerful. Claim your space as an elder.
Yes.
Love it. Zaid, it's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to leave it here, but we know next week you are back, same time, same place, and it's been so enjoyable. Jazakallah khair, and have an awesome week ahead.
I mean, and you too, and to the listeners as well. Please keep the comments coming. We really need more of it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. And we are off for the day. You have an awesome one. And yeah, I'm going to close my street for cricket. I'll probably be the only crazy lady there, but it's fine. Have an awesome one.